Yeah, I obviously I think we really liked our start. Um, that was a little bit more the way that we played last game. I felt it was similar to game one a little bit, where once we grabbed the lead, I think we were a little guilty of sitting back a little bit, trying to hang on to it. I think we're at our best when we're pressing, when we're aggressive. Maybe it was a couple of the penalty calls that kind of gave them a little life, and when that happened, I didn't feel like we pushed back quite as hard. Obviously good job by Jake, and PK was big tonight, and good to find a way in the end.
And Mike, you guys are without Stasny, without Fabry. You've got a guy from the Chicago Wolves almost on every line. What are the characteristics of this group's makeup that make you guys so successful?
Well, characteristics is character. We believe that we were a playoff team, and we had to fight to get into the playoffs. It was not an easy task, and every game was meaningful. And along the way, you lose Shattenkirk, you lose Stastny. We lost Laterra for a while. We lost Fabry, and the guys didn't. There was never a time where we buckled. Never a time where guys accepted anything less than our goal. And so, yeah, obviously, I think that leading up to this, gave us the confidence that we could still be a good hockey team. So we're in a good spot, but we know that there's an awful lot of work to be done still.
Mike, as you sat there and daydreamed about how this series could unfold, did you ever envision 3-0?
No, we never. We went into game one hoping to be 1-0, and then when we got that, we knew that we were going to have to respond and bounce back and be ready for a real tough test in game two. And so we've, I know how cliche it sounds, but we've taken it one game at a time. And so it's going to be the same focus for us for the next one. Again, I know that, the way that they're going to come out, I know there's a lot of pride in that locker room, but more importantly, there's a real good hockey team that's across from us that is going to come out and bring their A game, and so obviously we're going to have to be ready to match that.
Like in games 1 and 3, they had a tremendous number of shots. Do you view a high shot total as a negative, or just kind of part of the way you're playing?
I view it as a negative. Yeah, I think we have to be better than we were today. Again, it's tough. You're prodding the players on the bench. And again, when we seem to play our best hockey when the score is even. And I think overtime in game 1 was indicative of that. I think in game 2 we managed it a little bit better. Today again, we recognize that this was a big game for our team, obviously a big game for them. And for whatever reason, it was tough for us to get back on the throttle and to get back on the hunt. I think that when we're at our best, we're playing smart, but we're still aggressive. We're creating turnovers. We're forechecking hard. Our D were pinching earlier in the game. Our gaps were really good, and I think it was tough to get through the neutral zone. And I think we got a little bit soft in some of those areas, which allowed them to come at us. But at the end of the day, we've said this right from the start, that's a really good hockey team over there, and there's going to be some times where there's some things that we want to do, and they're still going to have a push. And they're going to have some moments, and we're going to have to withstand that, and we did that.
That said, are you amazed at just how tough you've made it for them to get to the net, the player, your defenseman, and the physicality and blocking the shots and everything?
Well, guys are paying a price. You guys are committed, and so it's not hard for us to look at the tape and understand that every situation, every time you're out there, it could be a difference maker. We know how they play. They know how we play at this time, so those are always key points, key areas of the game, and guys are digging in.
Did you feel like something good was going to happen for the power play? You had some movement on the first couple?
That was a message after the second period, and that was a little bit concerning as a coach when you've got a lead, you've got 2 power plays. We had 2 really good power plays. We hit a couple posts, and then you get a little bit nervous, especially the fact that that we hadn't had a lot of success in the power play up to this game. But for me, the look of our power play in the first 2 power plays was way better. And so that was the message in between periods is, just stay with it. And so for them, not only to score the goal, but to stabilize the game for us at that point, they clearly had the momentum after scoring. That was a critical moment for sure.
Mike, do you talk to Jake at all, or you just pretty much let Marty deal with him?
I say hi, good morning, and good job. That's about it right now. So I don't want to mess anything up. He's playing great, and you know, it's of course, there's communication, there's talk and whatnot, but no, he's in good hands.
Mike, with how good he's been, do you think he's in their head a little bit?
I don't know what they're thinking or what's going on over there. I mean, it's we have enough on our plate here to make sure we're focused on our guys.
Mike, how's Jake's demeanor to have gone from the lows to the highs, and he says there aren't any highs.
Yeah.
But just, is he a steady guy? How is he?
He's a steady guy, and you know, I remember one particular time when he got pulled earlier and things weren't going well, and I remember having a conversation with him, basically just saying that this is going to make you a way better player getting through this, and I think we're seeing that right now.
Is that during the struggles?
Right.
What did he say when you told him that?
He nodded.
Like you have a goal from a D-man in each of the first 3 games. How important is that, especially at this time of year?
Well, and it's against a team that defends really well, so we know that we need our D active. You know, we've seen them draw penalties, and we've seen them score goals, and so getting up ice, trying to beat guys up ice, trying to be active in the offensive zone. That's something that we need. You know, we can if we're going to try to create offense with a 3-man group out there, it's not going to happen. So. You know, I think both teams are seeing that, and we'll have to make sure we keep staying aggressive like that.
Mike, 6 straight years to the playoffs, but this group's never been up 3-0. How do you think they'll handle it?
I don't know. Well, it's a new experience for all of us, so that's a good test. You know, it's a good test against a good team. So, you know, I think that's how you mature and that's how you grow as a group. And you know, I do know that we'll talk about some of the areas that. In the past, I know that there was some regret as far as not closing series when you had a chance to here. We'll talk about those things. For me, the biggest thing is you know, can we push aside the whole idea of finishing off the series and stay focused on playing a really strong game, and that's what we're going to need. You know, if we come in here and we're not ready to be on top of our game, and by that I mean just all the little things that it takes. Then you know, we're going to be chasing, and so they challenge you, and we have to be sharp. We have to start and finish the game the way that we came out in the first period.
You mentioned Jake's ups and downs shaping the player he is at this moment right now. Is the same true for the team as a whole? Because there were some highs and lows before you got here.
Yeah, well, I think that, you know, handling adversity and dealing with adversity, different points of the year, for sure. If you handle it the right way, then it's good for you. It strengthens you as a group. You know, obviously. There was a couple times where things were tough this year, and we were able to come out of it, and so certainly you can draw upon that, and you know, again, I being inside the locker room and knowing the character of the group, you know, that's obviously once you start to get to know the personalities, then you have a lot more confidence as a coach.
Patrick Berglund made an awesome play to basically start the game for the first assist. Can you describe why you think Berglund's done so well in the Yeo era?
Sorry, I have a tough time hearing era. You know, it's been a few months, but what I would say is, you know, right from the start, and he's had a phenomenal year all year. He just plays the game really well at both ends of the ice. He's got a strong identity as a player. He's a big man who plays big, both with and without the puck, and obviously he's a guy who thinks the game well, but he's got the skill to go along with that. So there's been, you know, in all 3 games, obviously offensively he came through for us tonight, but in all 3 games he's making critical hockey plays, you know, critical winning plays, and that's what the whole group is doing right now. You know, when it's your turn to, you know, some games when you play against a team like this, some games the opportunity is going to present themselves a little bit more than others, but you can't lose focus on all those little things, and that's what he's been doing.
Mike, is Colton the guy you almost need to remind him, shoot it more, feel more comfortable doing that?
You know, I think with Colton, he knows he's got a great shot, and I think earlier in the year we were stressing that and talking about that a lot, and you know what, he's got to shoot the puck when he's got a chance to shoot the puck, but he's also got to feel that he can make plays too, and so. You know, as coaches, if you know, what we found is when we backed off him a little bit, you know, and told him to, you know, just play and use his instincts, that's when he started to make more plays, but also get more pucks through to the net. You know, it's an important thing, an important reminder as coaches is sometimes, you know, we have to back off a little bit and let the players use their instincts.
Mike, is Schwartz playing his best hockey right now? And now the time that you've had him here, what makes him the complete player that he is?
Yeah, well, I said right from the start of the series, I think people are going to get a chance to see just how good he is. You know, I would say, really, you know, we kind of had that 5-game skid earlier, and the way that he's come out since that time, he's been phenomenal. He went through that incredibly long goalless drought, which was so bizarre because he was getting about 4 or 5 grade A chances a night. But the things that he does at both ends of the ice, I mean, I really think that he's elevated his game and his role as a leader with this group. And you know, there was a lot of talk about it at the start of the season. Obviously, there's a lot of big names and big personalities and key players that have left this group, and we knew it was going to be a bit of a transition period. But certainly, you have to look at a guy like Schwartzy and how he's evolved as a leader and the way he comes to play night after night, and have to think it's a good sign for the future.
You watch Schwartz and he's got possession. It almost seems like he's extending the play. Does he seem to slow the game down in your eyes?
Well, he's got speed. You know, guys with speed, I think, can have the tendency to do that. But he's competitive. He's also smart in how he's doing it. You know, he's making skilled plays, and obviously that's a team that we have to be wary of, making sure that we're not having careless turnovers against, and so he's playing it the right way right now.
So you're setting off some questionable calls there in the second period. Are you happy with the way you guys responded after maybe having the momentum taken away from them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say they're questionable calls. You get a guy that goes into the penalty box, you know, there's nothing you're going to do to change that. You have to kill the penalty. And I think for a small period of time in the second period, we're getting a little bit caught up in that, and I think that we settled things down and did a real nice job.
Mike, you're so used to playing every other day. How are you going to use this break here?
Well, the guys will have the day tomorrow, and then we'll have a good practice and get ready to go. So same way that we have. Obviously, you know, the message to the guys, we have to handle the next couple days the right way in terms of the thoughts that we put into our head and the preparation that we have. But right now it starts with getting some rest.
People are going to ask you, is this a good thing or bad thing, you know, on the verge of?
Well, you know, it's what we have. So I'm not going to analyze whether it's a good or a bad thing. I'm just going to try to make sure we utilize it the best way that we can and make sure that we get ready to come out. So again, you know, we could sit here and say it might be this, it might be that. We have an opportunity to get rest. We have an opportunity to have a practice, and to you know, to look at the tape and look at what areas we might need to adjust a little bit. Look at what areas we have to focus on for the next game. Excuse me, and get ready for a real hard battle.